there's a storm coming and lightning will be produced. Painting lightning is a challenge. So in this video I'm going to show you how I painted this picture. I am not completely happy with the way it came out, but I think it was enough for me to say to myself, okay, I want to try this again. I want to try to create a lightning scene again. I think I learned a lot by doing this one. So, and today there is actually a hurricane or a tropical storm heading our way. We've got about 10 hours before it gets here. So I will be sitting at home watching the storm, but I will not be outside doing a plein air painting of lightning. No, I don't think so. But anyway, let me show you how I did that. Plus I have a poem today. The poem is written by William Cullen Bryant, and the poem is called, of course, The Hurricane. All right, so hang in there. All of that's coming up right now. Good morning. So today is the day, August 4th, Sunday. Today is the day that the hurricane is supposed to come through our area. So here's a little swatch. I was experimenting. I was trying to create lightning. I used a colored pencil. I don't know if you can see it right there. I put colored pencil on the white paper first. I used a white colored pencil. Here's the white pencil. And it didn't come out as brilliant as I wanted it to. So the solution is going to be just to keep the white paper showing through. So it's kind of I was just testing it to see which is the better way to show lightning. For those of you who've used masking fluid, that's probably a good way too. I've never used masking fluid. But the challenge here is to create like a storm in the distance and a very stormy sky. So I think I'm going to make a low horizon. I think I'm going to make it low. So what I'm going to do is start with the horizon, because that's where the the sky meets the water, so to speak. So I'm just going to try to just kind of create a line here, just maybe a line of islands or something. I'm not really sure where this would be. I'm making it up, just so you know. There's no reference photo today. But, I mean, you've seen lightning before. We all have seen lightning before, so it'll all... I don't know where this would be. So I want to just create like a land mass here. I don't even know what I'm doing. But the Weather Channel shows the storm, the center of the storm passing north of where we are. It moved from where it was originally showing it yesterday. Yesterday it showed it pretty much coming through our backyard. But that has changed. However, it's a pretty wide storm. Most storms are. And I don't know how strong of a storm this one is. I don't know. I guess the point is you deal with it, right? And you know, we live in a concrete building. We don't have we're not in a mobile home or something. I used to live in a mobile home, but this is not a mobile home that I share with Robin, so we are hopefully okay. And anyway, I just thought, you know, a lot of times when you do landscapes, you try to do the pretty look, right? As pretty as possible. And a storm can be pretty too. A storm can be beautiful. In fact, when I've gone to the beach, let's say you go to the beach and the intent is to have a nice sunny day and you're picturing the tropical the tropical scene you've seen like movies and stuff, right? And it does happen that way. But sometimes a storm is coming, and it's just, I don't know, it's just something about it that's also beautiful. So, okay, I'm just creating the land masses here, and maybe the reflection of the land masses. I'm not really trying too hard to create a beautiful picture, but I mostly want the lightning. The lightning is what I want the most. So I'm just doing the land masses first, and we'll see how I do with the lightning. That's what I want, a big bolt of lightning coming through the sky. So what I'll probably do is exaggerate it. I think that's what I'll do, because I can always make it smaller, but I can't make it bigger. I can't get rid of the color once it's on the paper, not completely. So what I want to do is I want to use purple tones for the sky. And let's take a lightning bolt and bring it way from the top, like that. So I'm painting the negative part of it, okay? And like I say, I can make it smaller later on. But lightning has a lot of, lightning comes down from the sky, and then it branches out all over the place. Like a tree. Just like branches on a tree. So these are going to be the branches. And then the lightning bolt itself is, of course, erratic and goes all over the place. Let's get this up here. It's a big old bolt of lightning that will be skinnified. I'll skinny it up later on. Have you ever done a portrait of somebody who the subject asks you to make them look thinner? I've had that. I've done portraits of people who asked me to make them look thinner. Sometimes they say it in jest, but they really mean it. And other times they really mean it. Those are the ones you're kind of nervous about. So I've done it, and I do it carefully so that I don't make them look skinny, but I do make it so that they look like a little bit less obese. Is that okay to say that word? So, and then you know it is what it is when it's done, you know. So this is now the reflection. I'm not sure how to do this, to be honest with you. But I think some of these are going to be like real thin when I'm done with it. Yeah, so somebody who asks you to take a few pounds off of them in the painting process, I'll tell you the truth. If you ever had that kind of an assignment, oh gosh, sketching is probably the way to handle it. You have to sketch it all first, you know. But anyway, that's a different subject. That's got nothing to do with lightning, except for the fact that this lightning is going to be skinnified. That doesn't look like lightning at all yet. Well, hopefully when I'm done it will look like lightning. And then I'll have another distant lightning, I think, over here. There's something coming from the sky. just crackling. I expect we'll be having some lightning today. The storm is supposed to reach us like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And right now it's only 5 minutes before 6 in the morning. Okay, and I'm using purple. It's just, to me, it's a good color for a storm. And a lot of those little ones probably won't be as reflected as the big one. So I'll just try to create a little bit of a reflection down here. Same with this one. And we'll see how it goes. All the way down to the bottom. Just a big old lightning bolt, and they happen so quickly. It's just an incredible natural thing that happens. You know that story about Benjamin Franklin flying a kite and discovering electricity that way? I wonder, I mean, is that really how he discovered electricity? Or did he simply discover that electricity can be transmitted? I don't know. Transferred. All right, now we gotta use our watercolor skills, kids. I'm not sure how to do this. This has got to be a bright light right there. So even that's got to be light, but everything else can be. I can start to fill it in, and because it's watercolor, I'll be able to spread it. It certainly doesn't look like lightning yet. It looks like I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a crazy tree. All right. Just getting this wet. Oh, big light right here. There's got to be some bright light right there. Just got to remember that. Keep this all lit right here. Like the whole sky got lit up from this lightning. I'm basically just using purple right now. Yeah, I guess if you used masking fluid, you could pull this off really well. I've never tried it. I know I said that already. I probably should try it. I did try the colored pencil, the white pencil this morning. It didn't work out. Just keep this keep that middle one. That middle one has to be the brightest. That's got to be the brightest spot in the picture. This is tough. This is a good challenge here. Painting lightning. How to paint lightning. I didn't even look it up. There probably is a lot of videos on how to paint lightning. Maybe I'll label this one. Well, I'll label it if I pull it off. I'll label it as such. How to paint lightning. Maybe you've got a better way. Maybe you're watching me right now and you're saying, "Oh, come on, Poppa. That's not how you paint lightning. Let me show you." I am. You know what you do if you truly want to show people with this audience. If you want to go to the Facebook group, that would be cool. Show how you paint lightning. Of course, you could always just take gouache and paint over it. I guess that's a solution too. Or just do the whole thing in acrylic. That might be in this. That would definitely work. I guess I was just trying to see how to pull it off with watercolor. How to get the watercolor to look like a stormy sky with a big bolt of lightning coming across it. Spread this out. The cool thing about watercolor is that you can thin it out after the fact. You can't get it completely white, not really, but you can. You can always use gouache if you really need to fix something that needs to be white. I'm not so sure I like what I'm doing here, but that's okay. Like I say, you can always paint over it, but you can't undo it. Let's get some water over here. Let's get this water to look like water. And then we have to do the same thing down here. Have to recreate what we did. Keep getting it wet. I think I'm just going to keep getting most of this wet now. Just spread this around as much as I can. That white right there. There's probably not going to be much plein air lightning painting. You're not going to stand outside with your canvas in the rainstorm and paint. You can make that very light. Let the water thin it out a lot. Thin it out. Yeah. Okay. Can almost hear the crack of the thunder. When lightning happens so close that the thunder happens at the same time. That's something, huh? And then the water, you would think that the water would be rough, right? In a storm. It's not always rough, though. When I'm at the beach, it's just sometimes the ocean itself doesn't really change much, just the lightning. Now we get some lightning around here. Oh man. You probably do too. I don't know why I say around here. We all live on planet Earth. The Earth has lots of lightning. So these edge ones, these ones on the edge should be The distant storm. Let me use the bigger brush. Get some more darkness down here. Spread it out. I'm trying to get this whole. I want some lighter darks and darker darks, if that makes sense. But nothing should be as bright as the lightning itself. That should be the brightest spot in the whole picture, is that lightning. But these little shoots off the side of it should be very thin, very tiny. Okay, I'm going to let this dry, and then I'll read the poem that I have today. Gotta wet this down, let this be cloudy. I'll let the water dry, and that'll hopefully create the cloudy look. And then we'll come back and make the water look like water, and the horizon look more like a landmass, and hopefully make this lightning look like lightning. Okay, let me read the poem. It's called The Hurricane by William Cullen Bryant. Lord of the winds, I feel thee nigh. I know thy breath in the burning sky, and I wait with a thrill in every vein for the coming of the hurricane. And lo, on the wing of the heavy gales, through the boundless arch of heaven he sails, silent and slow and terribly strong, the mighty shadow is borne along. Like the dark eternity to come, while the world below, dismayed and dumb, through the calm of the thick, hot atmosphere, looks up at its gloomy folds with fear. They darken fast, and the golden blaze of the sun is quenched in the lurid haze, and he sends through the shade a funeral ray, a glare that is neither night nor day, a beam that touches with hues of death the clouds above and the earth beneath. To its covert glides the silent bird, while the hurricane's distant voice is heard. Uplifted among the mountains round, and the forests hear and answer the sound. Heavily poured on the shuddering ground, heavily poured on the shuddering ground. He is come, do ye not behold his ample robes on the wind unrolled? Giant of air, we bid thee hail, how his grey skirts toss in the whirling gale, how his huge and writhing arms are bent to clasp the zone of the firmament, and fold at length in their dark embrace, from mountain to mountain, the visible space. Darker, still darker, the whirlwinds bear the dust of the plains to the middle air, and hark to the crashing, long and loud, of the chariot of God in the thundercloud. You may trace its path by the flashes that start from the rapid wheels wherever they dart, as the firebolts leap to the world below and flood the skies with a lurid glow. What roar is that? 'Tis the rain that breaks in torrents away from the airy lakes, heavily poured on the shuddering ground, and shedding a nameless horror round. Ah, well-known woods and mountains and skies, with the very clouds ye are lost to my eyes. I seek ye vainly and see in your place the shadowy tempest that sweeps through space, a whirling ocean that fills the wall of the crystal heaven and buries all, and I, cut off from the world, remain alone with the terrible hurricane. That was from William Cullen Bryant. He lived from 1794 to 1778. I'm sorry, to 1878. 1794 to 1878. So he lived to be about 84. He was the editor of the Evening Post for 50 years, and he wrote poetry, such as Thanatopsis and To a Waterfowl, which gained him the reputation as America's first major poet. Well, I didn't know that. Did you know that? I didn't know that. All right, let's get back to the painting. Let's see, what do I want to use here? I think I'll use the small brush. The painting has dried nicely. The lightning looks a little bit like lightning. I think I overdid these things, but I can undo some of them. Let's just take some more dark colors. Just add some more clouds to the sky, I guess. Just make it darker. Get this lightning bolt over here. And this is our main lightning bolt right here. Where it hits the ground, where it hits the earth, where it hits the water. That should be light, I think. That should be light toward the middle. So to create that, let me make it darker on the edges here. I think I'll add some blue. It's kind of hard to see it. If you write a poem and nobody knows it exists, but somebody had the foresight to publish it, and then years later, I mean, how many years later did I just read that poem? And you have to read a poem. You can't just look at it. You have to read it. So a poet's art is his words, or her words. And when you read them, then the art comes alive. The art of the poet comes alive when you read the poem. Oh, if you think I know what I'm doing, I don't. I don't know what I'm doing here. I'm just basically spreading water, trying to create this to look like lightning as much as possible. Yeah, so today we have a storm coming. Just have to deal with it when it gets here. The good thing is the big old oak tree that used to be out front is no longer there. It was cut down. We had a few of them outside that could have been a problem in a storm. I was trying to work with a dry page here, but it turns out I'm working with a wet page. Alright, let's do something to make this water look like water. I don't know how much of a painting this is. This looks just like a bunch of very different hues of color. Not hues, but I mean, not even much contrast in this one, except for the lightning. think a lot of this area around the lightning itself, I'm going to try to pull the color up. It's a little brighter around the lightning itself, because it should be lighting up the sky right where it is, and of course the lightning itself has to be very perfectly bright. I think that's a thing we can do, is pull up the color, reduce the amount of pigment on the paper. Just being very careful to not get any color on the white. You're kind of pulling it away from the lightning. a lot of this color that I put down, bringing it off of the paper, bringing the white back out. And then creating that look of water down here.
Let's get a clean brush and see if we can make a few bright spots on here in the sky. Use a softer brush. Use a soft brush. Use a softer brush.
of tissue. See if that helps. I can just get some of that paint off of there. And the rain is coming down. You know what? I think I'm going to call it done. I think our thundery, lightningy sky is done. I'm going to let it dry. I'll turn the camera off and I'll be right back. Alright, let's fold it. Let's fold it and see if we like it. It's almost abstract. But I think you definitely get the feeling that there's lightning happening there. For what it's worth, there's my lightning picture. And I'm probably 10 hours away from having actual lightning in my backyard somewhere. Hopefully not directly in my backyard. All right. Thank you, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow. Bye.